Numerology, why Gianluigi Buffon left Juventus after 17 years. It has everything to do with the Champions League title drought. Gianluigi Buffon left Juventus after 17 years at the club. The reason why he left after 17 years has everything to do with Ronaldo and what he is going to do 17 years after Gianluigi Buffon's first Champions League final, which occurred in the year 2003. The interesting thing about 2003 is that 2003 adds up to 23. Juventus would go 23 years without winning the Champions League. They're going to win in the 24th year, because it's Juventus that equals 24. For Gianluigi Buffon, he misses out. The Champions League final in 2003 was rigged for AC Milan over at Old Trafford, the home of Manchester United, the Red Devils, which is interesting. You knew that final was rigged because AC Milan is called the Devil, El Diablo. That's their nickname. That's why they won the 2003 final in scripted fashion. It's 17 years later. 17 is the key. 17 years after that first Champions League final for Buffon is when Juventus are going to win again. In 2020. This is exactly why Juventus chose to move on from Gianluigi Buffon to bring in Cristiano Ronaldo. 17 years later, with Cristiano Ronaldo from Gianluigi Buffon's first Champions League final, Juventus are going to win again. It's worth noting that Juventus lost their last Champions League final occurred in the year 17. So the year 17 was Buffon's last Champions League final. 17 years later from his first Champions League final, Juventus win again. He left after 17 years. All this is decoded by the numbers. 64 prior Champions Leagues will be played. 2019-20 is going to be the 65th Champions League, the 28th edition of the Champions League after it got renamed from the European Cup. So let me show you that very quickly. And they will have that article there on Wikipedia. They are going to have the 2019-20 Champions League. 28th edition of the competition. 64 prior finals were played. That's why Buffon in 17 is significant. It's Turkey. That equals 28. Now, is Buffon still going to be with Paris Saint-Germain? After his goalkeeping gaffes against Man United, interesting enough how Gianluigi Buffon's goalkeeping gaffes occurred against Manchester United, because his first Champions League final loss occurred at Man United Stadium. So that's very interesting. Buffon's PSG future reportedly in doubt after his goalkeeping gaffes. So they may not even renew the second year of his contract. He may not even be back. I have Juventus being PSG next year. Gianluigi Buffon, he is going to be 42 years old next year. And the reason why his 42 years of age is going to be significant next year, January the 28th, when Juventus win the Champions League. There it is. 41 years of age. He's going to be 42 years old. Next year, 2020, PSG equals 42. It is also Freemason that equals 42 by the numbers. Freemason, knowledge 42. What could we be talking about? It's the knowledge that his old club is going to win the Champions League next year. That's how it's all scripted by the numbers, through the Kabbalah code, run by the Freemasons. The reflection of 42 is 24. Ronaldo 7. Sette is the Italian word for 7. It's sette that equals 15. That's why Ronaldo's going to beat Paris Saint-Germain. Gianluigi Buffon was also born on the 28th day of the year. Next year's the 28th Champions League. That is when Juventus are going to win again. 17 years later from 2003, it's 17 that equals 37. Juventus can go 3-7 the Champions League final. 2020 Champions League final equals 37. Allegri equals 37 in gematria. I think it is La Hoya Dybala that equals 37 as well. La Hoya Dybala equals 37. La Hoya is translated to the jewel in English from Spanish. La Hoya Dybala is the gem that Juventus need with 5 Champions League goals last year. He needs to transform the club. And truly next year, Paulo Dybala is going to get used to playing with Cristiano Ronaldo. I would be looking out for La Hoya Dybala next year in the Champions League as well. Porlo equals 65. 65th edition of the Champions League. His 5 goals for this Champions League are really hinting about what is going to come. 17 years later, from the 2003 Champions League final, Juventus will be victorious without Buffon. He may even be on Paris Saint-Germain's sideline to witness this.